the Cypher here, but I don't know that Hayes has a Cypher right now. He's just been hard spamming the Killjoy. On the other side, I mean, Kusta, I mean, you got guys like Kusta who played mainly the Cypher here as well, so we'll have to see how that one works, but I don't think the sky is really that weird on this particular map. I don't know how that's going to affect GenG in terms of anything different that we're going to see, but sky probably is, in fact, a little bit favored even on this map.
Fair enough. Well, we're going to be digging into the pistol here. GenG starting things off on offense. TSM will be the team kind of coming at us here defensively. I believe our overlay just a touch backwards to represent that. There is the Trailblazer coming through first. Boombot as well. Aggressive play through the showers, and Gwyn will find first blood. Wardell has to fall back.
So 4v5 straight away, and it's actually going to be the Raze gone. It's just going to be a little bit more difficult for TSM's initial defense here. So you already see a rotation coming through from Cutlib. This is going to be a good response. A little bit of an extra utility being placed by Kusta as well, just kind of lurking, trying to maybe peel back a few members from TSM, and that is going to be some information to confirm members are still in the showers.
And then here comes the hit. Gwyn using the guiding light to free themselves forward, but did not actually get any clearance towards this quad stack box. Cutler able to find one, Wardell more, but GenG's able to respond in kind. We get left with a 2v2 situation. Sabrosa still on top of the site, and oh my goodness, however did GMT miss that shot? It will be traded back, but it comes at a pretty steep cost as Kust is down to 18 HP for a 1v1. Spike still currently down, but a spy cam is there to help him work this maybe a little bit more freely, and that should result in an opportunity for him to potentially get this spike planted. Just comes down to Hayes' timing, and now that plant does come through. Hayes lurking forward, he knows exactly where this play is, gets the spy cam deleted, even 1v1. No armor for Hayes. The headshot would do it, and Kusta finds it on cue. GenG take the pistol and go up 1-0.
That was a really intense 1v1 right towards the end there as well. Like you said, GenG, they had no health left on Kusta. One shot from Hayes would have done it. Both players know exactly where the other one is. Just comes down to when the swing happens. Who decides to swing where? Bit of a 50-50 there. It ends up being that, I mean, both crosshairs kind of line up there. It comes down to Kusta pulling the trigger just a little bit earlier, landing the headshot required, and Hayes, I don't know, man. Is it the reaction times? Not too sure what it was. Just needed the one shot. Couldn't find it. And Kusta and GenG will take down that pistol as we head into round number 2 now. No Force Spies, no Stingers. We're on the new patch. Not quite onto the Astra patch as we know. That's 2.03, not 2.04 currently. Gwyn onto Drone straight away. That's Drone's second first-blooded death in a row.
Yeah, it seems like TSM saying, all right, if they want to put a lot of effort through showers, let's just take a look over towards B long. And, well, that look gets instantly punished. So a very early 4v5 situation that TSM will have to respond to. Cutler also will be tagged up a touch, so he will be forced to give up a little bit of an angle. Kusta just lurking over by A. We'll have a dark cover to play with. Sean to the middle. Nice shots there. Able to take down Hayes, and we've got a very comfortable 5v3 for GenG.
And TSM on this pistol, I mean, they would need to be stacking over towards B really hard. They can't get a single kill so far. Down Sabrosa, 8 HP. Would need to find a tap. Gets it onto Sean, so that's not bad in terms of at least dropping one gun. Not expecting too much more coming through for Wardell, though the last player alive for TSM. The plant should be able to come in. Wardell even looking on a shorty. Needs to find something in a smoke if possible. And the timing is going to be super important here. The question will be with GenG if they want to actually try and challenge Wardell or not. Are they going to try and push him to Link? What's Wardell going to try and do about this situation? Because, again, a shorty not great for this retake. Would have to just, I don't know, make a dash play or something.
Well, currently, happy just to shoulder the wall and read some information. Maybe try to play for exits. Or maybe just try to find a timing to sneak his way into the site. But at the moment, it looks like this will be a pretty comfortable round. So, taking a look, I know the poll has gone out. 61% of people believing that TSM will win this first map. Not the greatest start for them overall, but still plenty of time to work with. And you will see Wardell try to move on in. Just make sure he could safely get himself off the board. And we'll go into round 3, which will likely be a TSM gun round.
Gonna clean as well. GenG minimal losses there. They get to keep most of their upgraded guns. Drop over the Bulldog over to Gimond. That means Sean's going to go to an early rifle, potentially. Nope, just the Bucky for now. TSM. Fight for the first proper gun round. No one's too close to ultimates. Looking towards Sabrosa 5 out of 7. Not the most impactful ultimate this early. Ideally, you want it on, you know, someone like Drone to start with. Wardell a little bit later on if they do lose this particular round. Looking to see what GenG can maybe do about it. Nothing really too close either. If maybe Gwyn was a little bit closer placed, would have definitely been played here.
You know, both teams are 7-2 on this map since we've started the Valorant Champions Tour. It's been a stronger defensive side, though, for TSM as they do get a bit more aggressive, trying to challenge over through showers. Sean tried to dive on in, and this broke down quickly. You also have Drone, who made the play to the teleporter to assist if necessary, but that would not be required, and now GenG find themselves in a 2v5.
TSM get the full heal up here as well, so everyone's going to be pretty healthy. It's going to come down to just the 2 more members. Maybe they can find a bit of a timing. Even through the wall, that's not too bad in terms of damage. Gimon finds Wardell. Spike is technically down. I don't know how much extra damage GenG can do here. Just Kusa with the Spectre. He's been surrounded as well. Knows he's in a lot of trouble. And TSM don't even have to really do too much here. They can just play for the time if they want to. It's GenG. They need to somehow recover the Spike and do something. And Kusta, I mean, 50 seconds of just checking cameras and trying to spam into this wall.
Hoping, praying, seeing if the Valorant gods will favor him with the timing somewhere. And Kusta will be able to collect the Spike, actually exchange his Spectres for one that actually had less ammunition than the one he was holding. And then here is the peak, but Kusta, not bad, does find one more elimination. So TSM get aggressive defensively this time, and it pays off in a major way as they only drop 2.
TSM, they make it really heads-up kind of play. You know, they just don't really wait for GenG. They had a really good read that GenG were maybe going to go for a very heavy shower sort of commit. See that again. I mean, you see the PPs coming on through. Drone is there. Trailblazer to follow. A lot of damage coming through from the rest of the defenders over towards showers. And only dropping 2 guns as well, so well and truly above expectations, or, you know, about expectations for TSM in terms of keeping weapons alive. Going to round number 4. This is going to be the first gun round properly for GenG, though. Which can bring this one back into play. Huyn, though, still only with the judge.
Yeah, still on a judge. And, well, Sean finding first blood onto Wardell, that would mean that there is a weapon upgrade if he so chooses to use it, but it feels like this is going to be one of those aggressive hits from GenG where they just kind of use a smoke execute, get Win in there, and see if the judge can lay down the law for them. Here comes the posture through A main. Sabrosa watching. Dark cover fades. Guiding Light has to avoid that, and as he does, Sean finds the easy kill. Win up top, not able to take care of Cutler, but does get some damage confirmed, but regardless, GenG have taken the site.
Cutler's on 44 health now. Can't self-heal. TSM on this retake now have nothing really to work with. GenG, a bunch of ultimates now as we start to head into that part of the map. And in this particular post plan as well, everyone's so far on site. Bit of an off angle being taken by Sean. First contact coming through. It's going to come down to Hayes, who's been tagged even by the camera. And here comes the nade as well. This should be pretty big damage.
Yeah, great shells. That'll push everybody back and force TSM to reconsider what do they want to do with not a lot of time. And it looks like the answer will be put a sentry turret down, fade back, and make sure that we can save our rifles going into round number 4.
We even saw the strategy coming through from GenG as well in terms of when, you know, not picking up the upgraded rifle. They had full smoke coverage over that as well. Waiting for smoke to fade and then instantly dashing in, Guiding Light to follow. And that's how they basically take full control over A. I mean, they sacrifice Win, but I think that's a free death anyway because Win only did have a judge. Holding onto that strategy of just having some very concentrated aggression post smoke fading. And the rest of the TSM arriving a little bit later to the party, being locked out by the camera, plus smokes, plus running out of time. Holding the guns being the priority here, and when going back over towards the judge fairly quickly here. Could actually be a judge with the Blade Storm, or potentially just a judge on its own. When's definitely thinking about favoring this one in terms of aggression on attack. Expect a lot of, you know, updraft dashing, and again, via the Guiding Lights.
It's a nice executed. It works out pretty nicely, especially if TSM are going to keep a player kind of lingering in front of this kind of APC that's right here on top of the A site. That will not be the defensive setup this time. It's a little bit of aggression from TSM trying to get control of this ultimate orb by B long. And while the Seekers come through, here comes Win. He does have the Blade Storm out, is not able to find Hayes, who locks down the site with 2. And that will put a very steep stall to GenG on this attempt. They're going to have to try to be a little bit more controlled. And, well, they actually control themselves by standing on top of one another as Drone is able to line up a collide in a flawless defensive round for TSM.
That was extreme, coming through Hayes to be opening up with 2. He gets the opening kill to Sean into Hookah. No one else coming through from Hookah, so just, you know, lining up players. The rest of the 4 coming through from GenG and towards B long. Perfect for TSM to pick up all 5 kills. Flawless here as well. Getting that massive ult charge. Sabrosa, I believe, did ult onto the other side of the map, so he was coming over towards B if anything was going to, you know, things were going to get worse. But aside from that, you look at TSM, big ultimates coming online fairly soon for both Hayes and Drone. Wardell's one away. Their money looks pretty good. And for GenG, nearly onto the broken buy if they lose a couple more rounds.
So an important one here in the round number 6. Showstopper, Neural Theft available for GenG. Showstopper will also be retained here for TSM. Sabrosa was trying to take a little passive peek over towards A showers. He gets tagged by Stycam and has to forfeit, which will lead to an opportunity for GenG to soak up the ultimate orb and maybe potentially start building back over towards those Seekers that were previously used.
Slower round from GenG here as well, just defaulting, but playing very passively on this default. You can see that no one on the map is actually trying to take a bit of control just yet. Sean specifically isn't trying to push into hookah. You don't have, Yimon going over towards short and doing too much there either. Now they might start thinking about throwing a little bit more utility. Cutler's going to confirm people are down long, just shoulder peeking that one. As the Trailblazer does come up, we'll see if TSM want to respond with a little bit more, but yeah, it's still around the 50-ish kind of second mark here, and TSM don't quite know what GenG are going to do. You do see one rotation, the drone is coming over, and Kusa's down.
It's a big first blood for Wardell. The spike and all of this passive setup for GenG is still over by Spice Mark, and as Sabrosa finds a second kill for the defense, now GenG is in a 3v5, and you have to really consider what exactly do you want to do. You don't want to just give up this round, but at the same point, how much do you spend trying to work your way in? Hayes, next one up, finds the kill. That's on the spike carrier. Nanostorm to keep it safe, and now you're all of a sudden for GenG in a position where you're just trying to fight for a couple of kills and maybe keep Michael onto this, Mikhail onto this Vandal.
Oh, rough timing. Still get the kill into Cutlass. So, I mean, 2 kills is fine in terms of at least, a bit of a silver lining here for GenG, despite what was otherwise a pretty awkward round for them. Again, very slow, didn't really do much around the map. Took a little bit of early showers control. You eventually had the slow lurk up onto A from 2 members. Both got taken down. And then for TSM as well, I mean, easily held most of the locations. Yeah, they dropped 2 eventually at the end, but it was like 5v1 there, and they just kind of give 2 away. They still have enough money to buy over for the next, no issues. 4 ultimates online now, didn't have to spend anything there for TSM, so very comfortable in that last round, number 6, and moving into round number 7 now, when goes actually back towards the judge. Now let's see if they go back towards aggression.
Forced by scenario, you have to figure that the showstopper will be queued up for this round. You also had win on the judge, as mentioned, probably the same kind of flash execute that you would figure is going to be there, but Wardell is playing a bit differently. On top of this double box, dark cover keeping him safe for the time being. In the timing of when this dissipates, can he find an elimination? Sure does, and is able to tailwind away. Wardell trying to keep his life paranoia just to try to see if they can find an elimination. Wynn's going to go forward, able to find the trade, and he gets a second. Are you kidding? This keeps the GenG offense alive. Just comes down to, can they successfully fully clear out Sabrosa, who has been eluding all of this GenG offense until he finally gets caught up by the neural theft, and that will be the end of him. And now TSM with the Seekers looking to retake into 2v4.
And thankfully for that neural theft as well, otherwise GenG would have a little bit more issues to deal with. Still a couple of ultimates available for TSM. Seekers are gone, locked down now. Potentially going to be initiated. Counter Seekers to be flown in as well. That's pretty quick coming through from side of Mikhail, who I think might even be his second Seekers so far. 2 versus 3, definitely still doable, especially with GMD down.
The lockdown will be in play. GenG has to make a move. Mikhail finds one, goes to 1v1, and Mikhail takes it! Eliminates TSM off the bat, and that will be good enough for GenG on a forced buy round to go up 4-3.
Super important round, right? GenG could have been in a very tough position. They would potentially lose another round after that into an eco. TSM now, after banking up a ton of money, Wardell finally dying, was going to allow him now to buy the operator. This is now what GenG have to deal with in terms of the next attacking round. Kusta still can't quite afford, so despite winning that one, the losses I think are still pretty huge. Coming down to a 1v1 after, pretty much a force as you identified there. We're looking at 3 light armors, 1 SMG as well, 2 ultimates. Sean's at least got a showstopper, which could be pretty useful here. Taking some early controls over towards Showers as expected from GenG. They've been doing that in most rounds. And Wardell, straight away aggression in terms of pushing up into the cubby for a shot. Let's see if Gimon maybe takes a hook, line, and sinker here with Wardell, can just reel in this opening kill.
And this is the next obstacle for GenG. When you've got Wardell on the table, he will reveal that the operator is in play. Does that change what GenG wants to do here? You know that he played aggressively towards A. Does that maybe influence you to, okay, maybe we need to stay away from that and try to make an execute happen over towards B, maybe?
Which is exactly where Wardell's going now. So he'll be rotating over towards, potentially looking at long. We'll see the Trailblazer coming through. Still nothing really big in terms of info just yet. Again, GenG have basically been defaulting, they've been getting info into Showers, they've been getting Kush into Showers, they've been throwing utility from Mikhail over towards B long pretty much every single round. Wardell's now there to check for anyone potentially peeking. They know operators on the map, so I think GenG are going to take this one a little slower. Still got a couple flashes available, and I do think they'll want to push in with a showstopper as well. It's been ready for a while.
Oh, Sabrosa, hello? I mean, he hadn't been spamming through that dark cover much at all, and then when he chooses to, he walks away with the kill. Wardell, another. The showstopper for Sean does find one elimination, but he's taken out simultaneously, and it comes just down to Gamon. No chance whatsoever. Sabrosa locking down Lamps, and TSM are able to tie this game back up at 4.
And I gotta say, it's great to see Sabrosa back onto the Omen. I think this is definitely the correct position for him on the team. I mean, you looked at how they played previous to Challengers 3 and Challengers 2 when they got knocked out. Sabrosa was like playing Sky and some others, some other picks when TSM were, I guess, in my opinion, kind of experimenting in their roles. Now holding down the fort over towards A, short the initial kill through smokes. You also had the fact that, yeah, Sean did get a kill on the showstopper, but was otherwise blinded. Sabrosa did a lot of work in that particular round with utility and kills coming through. Hero rifle from Gimon now. GenG, as we've tied up 4 and 4. Operator still on the table for Wardell. No one going to be pushing A short just yet.
Cutler's shoulder could be first point of contact. He also really wants this ultimate orb to earn the Seekers up. Hazed sees information. That's the spike carrier that's going to be down. And Cutler also knows that the Sky is somewhere nearby. So TSM's defense is being tested, but it's not being tested all that much right now as GenG have lost one and taken a lot of damage onto their Sky player. Mikhail's going to have to give this up. And as the repeat over towards Hookah comes through, TSM clean things up. Beautiful hold, only dropping 1.
And despite the 1 death over here, I mean, you can see that TSM fully confident. They know they're pretty much up against full pistols here. Maybe a little bit surprised that Gimon still has a rifle in play. Didn't really get too much else out of GenG, though. So now back into the actual buy. Gimon comes in with the same rifle but no armor. Hwin will be playing the Blaze Storm this round, save that 2k. And we still have 8k in the bank here for Wardell, who didn't get to see too much action in the particular last round. He's hanging out over towards A, no one pushing him. Now he's going to be starting out over towards B, and he'll be looking for potentially Mikhail running up, because Mikhail, again, has been defaulting towards B for most rounds. Blaze Storm, there you go, has been popped. They're confirming information over towards B. I don't know that the Guiding Light did find anything coming through from Cutler, though.
Oh, Paranoia push through for TSM, but the Trailblazer does connect. So that'll stop Sabrosa just a touch, and beyond that, GenG never fully committed to getting into the showers. So a bit of early utility exchange between both squads, but no first bloods, no point of contact beyond it.
And this kind of slow playstyle does get punished by Wardell pretty hard. So now you've got him looking over towards B Hookah, just destroying the the tripwire and stuff like that. But GenG are definitely kind of faking towards B, and eventually, yeah, here we go. Wardell kind of just gets bored of B. Move over towards A. Probably first eyes towards shower as well. That would be huge. Drone's already got the off angle covered, so this could be potentially pretty tough for GenG as Seekers do roll out.
Seekers start cover. There goes the tailwind, and Quinn nearly comes up empty with the Blaze Storm, but does find one, instantly traded. Sabrosa, can he be tested? He's found himself a double thus far and has kept his life. Wardell trying to keep him safe just beyond the quad box. And so far, that actually puts GenG in a bit of a corner. Mikhail is considering the plant, but as he wide swings, we'll find a couple more kills, and that will be a much more secured plant in the mix for GenG. 2v3 in the retake. Seekers are out immediately. Cutler trying to get some information, but Hayes has to deal with a tracking dart. Now point of contact on the outer. Cutler good for 1. Kusta responds, and Kusta gets 2 at the end. A dicey retake attempt, and at the end of it, we go tied 5-5 through 10.
And picked up the operator here as well, so they're going to be giving that one over to Hwin. Interesting that, we don't see a lot of offensive operators anymore on a lot of maps. This will be one that Hwin wants to be able to challenge Wardell with, who's going to go straight back over to the operator again. He banked up a lot of money over the past few rounds. And TSM, unfortunately for Drone, I think he might have been flashed up, so you did see an opportunity there where Hwin was maybe going to go down. Yeah, you notice the Blaze Storm kind of goes wide for a few shots before he lands on Drone. But Drone couldn't respond at all, so GenG still get a pretty decent entry over onto A, which gets them the site, gets them the plant, gets them that round win as well. Wardell starting out in the cubby once more. No one's going to peek him. It's been like multiple rounds now where, unfortunately for Wardell, just can't quite catch a break. No one peeks him early. No matter where he starts, it's just not where GenG are.
I just kind of wonder if TSM are fine with that to a certain extent, because now they know that all of this middle towards A is completely covered. And it gives you the ability for your defense to kind of focus on other things, because you put so much trust that Wardell, if there is a late rotation, he will find maybe one pick or at least see numbers before he has to tailwind away. And he very well could get first point of contact here, finds the kill. And then off screen, Hayes finds Hwin. That's over towards the B site. And that will be enough for TSM to be in a very comfortable position here in round 11 at a 5v3.
That's Hwin with an operator as well. So Hayes actually beats Hwin in that 1v1, which is absolutely massive for TSM. So with 4 ultimates available, as the time starts running out here, GenG, yeah, they're going to go for it because there's only 2 rounds left. You want to play for every single round. But I mean, this is not looking great. 5 versus 3. Showstopper here from Drone. And but this is just going to slow things down even further. In fact, he gets a kill. Hayes gets another one as well, and we're just down to Gimon, and I don't think he's going to do much more.
He's stuck in a corner, does find a second elimination. Not bad, but it's not really going to amount to much as we get into the last round of the half, and the only thing spent for TSM was the showstopper. And as we get into this final round, how about it? You have no ultimates available for GenG, so a steep advantage here for TSM to try to close out this half.
That's actually, I think a decent kind of change for GenG. Previously when I was watching the GenG games, one of the criticisms I had of this team was that they were very, very much holding on to ultimates. They weren't willing to use ultimates. They were just kind of banking the ultimates forever. So maybe they've overcorrected. Maybe they've started to just use them way too liberally. So somewhere in the middle will be probably good. TSM haven't really been forced to. They're pretty well stocked for this final round of the half. Could still go 6-6 depending on heroics from GenG. But a lot of these early round kills coming through TSM have just been shutting down GenG entirely.
Well, Mikhail will be freed up with a lot of help to get his Seekers earned off of this ultimate orb in A showers. So at least there's one tool to use. It just comes down to how do you want to try to get the Seekers in play and follow up behind it, because you have Hwin, who again has this judge. You figured that it's going to be Seekers with a guiding light and then a tailwind play for Hwin to try to find first blood again.
He'll just be left to lurk so far in the smoke. No one from TSM will check this. They might use a bit of utility later on, but right now just slow shifting back over towards B. This Trailblazer could be pretty huge, but I think the range was too short there. The Trailblazer, you have to remember, is nearsighted, so I don't believe that Cutler actually saw anything be long. This might actually be huge for GenG, who throw the Seekers out. Is this a fake as well? I mean, look at GenG. They haven't committed to B. They threw the Seekers, and now they're starting to rotate back out. Subrosa sees this. That allows TSM to potentially keep members on A, and Drone is maybe getting cold feet here.
Seems to be rotating over to B. Lockdown was also spent defensively just in case. There's the guiding light play. Hwin on the way forward. Wardell is going to be able to respond to this. He's actually avoided it so far. Subrosa has helped for first elimination. The quickscope not going to be there, but Subrosa through lamps is good for not just 2, but 3. Still holding his life. The defense rotating over, and GenG are just down to 2. Kusta lingering over by B will fall, and now time becoming a problem. 10 seconds. Win what would be a 1v4 situation. Has to try to stick for a plant, and as he does, Hayes makes the wrap, finds the 7th round for TSM, and we go to our halftime break. TSM in a very strong spot as they'll rotate back over and be on the offense. We come back after this. 7-5 after the half in favor of TSM. Avril, give me your initial reactions.
Subrosa massive. I mean, it's just not just the 15 kills that we see on the board, 15-8, highest score so far for both teams, but how many times has Subrosa kind of just saved TSM, or maybe not saved TSM, but it's just kind of the hero TSM on particular rounds. GenG will be starting their pistol with a little bit of early aggression down short. Sees nothing for now, but they have no information towards showers. So let's see what GenG can do with this type of information. Contact should be found pretty quickly onto market. It's Jet on Jet, and Wardell wins the 1v1.
I mean, talk about clutch timing. Wardell lingering near Spices. It's the sentry turret that makes him heads up. But Sean, speaking of heads, able to find himself the first headshot to keep things in a 4v4. Guimond is also here to try to assist on this hold. And as we get a little dicey, goodness gracious. Thought for a second Sean got both with the snapper, but it's Guimond for 1. And we've got ourselves a 4v2 early. Kusta able to make it now just down to 1. Good luck, have fun if you're Cutler. Not going to get anything going, and GenG take the second pistol.
Well responded there. Sean coming through with 3 as well, and that's despite TSM getting the initial pick via Wardell, who was really low, coming back through showers. So TSM going to drop both pistols so far. A bind. GenG should be looking forward to a fairly comfortable anti-eco here. Again, not expecting anyone to go towards enforced buys anymore. We're way past the Stinger meta now. So it should be 9 on the... Sorry, should be 7 on the board coming through for GenG in just a minute.
Interested to see what TSM try to do here. I mean, if you talk back to after they had lost the initial pistol from their offensive side, or pardon me, their defensive side, they tried to play a bit more stack heavy and aggressive. That looks to be somewhat similar here as they are trying to get themselves some action towards B long, but it's Sean inside who could find first blood. Guiding light comes out. Mikhail looking for information, and boy, did he find it. Cost him a bit of his health pool. Also seeing the wrist of Hazed was Sean. Will find a second elimination, and GenG, if you're a comfortable spot so far, it is how many can Sean get is the question. Finds himself 4. Trailblazer will give him the information. Do you give him the ace? Apparently not, says Hwin. But a very clean second round for GenG. Flawless as they tie it up at 7.
Yeah, massive from Sean coming over through the Hookah side of things as well. To be fair, though, not getting the flawless actually kind of helps out the team. I think, sorry, not getting the eggs helps out the team. Getting the eggs would have been nice for the highlight reel for Sean indeed, but allowing the last kill to go to Huynh means slightly closer in terms of ultimate charge here. They kind of share the ultimates a little bit more evenly. Sean now has the ultimate available entirely, so this round 3 timing is actually huge. I do think Sean coming in with the showstopper for this gun round of TSM could be a pretty big game changer. They have not a lot of great weapons to play with in Ares, even for Command. They don't have any bulldogs. Not a single player has gone towards the rifle. Obviously, no one died in the last round either. So let's see what we can find out of GenG early. No one's coming through B, realistically speaking, so that might mean GenG will just rotate somebody off, and already you can see Sean start to make moves over.
3 players for TSM still playing inside showers for now. That does include the spike carrier. Ultimate orb will be collected by drone. And it just comes down to what bit of information will TSM use to go, because you got to remember that it's a very early showstopper for GenG defensively, and like you mentioned, Sean is here to help out for any potential TSM hit towards A, but it looks like they are thinking differently, as TSM will wrap this through the cave system and potentially make a play over towards Hookah.
So Bros hasn't really worked up anywhere on B, though. Now needs to kind of avoid the Trailblaze. The Trailblaze are being revealed here, and you can see that because there's been no real information over towards A at all. Is Sean kind of already thinking of rotating backwards? Yep. He's going to do that right now, especially with the paint shells being confirmed.
But TSM, they know that information was gained on them. They will quickly wrap back, and Wardell will be the first one forward on this execute through mid. And there's only one player here defensively. It's only Kusta who's here. The spy cam will reveal. Does get flashed for a moment, just trying to play his life inside of lamps. Gets the first point of contact, takes down Cutler. He able to find Wardell from the side, +4. Are you kidding me? Kusta for 3. Sean eventually gets there for the showstopper, and it's left the drone for a 1v2. He's going to try to quickly rotate through the teleporter and get this spike planted, but there are players around him on both sides. He will get there just in the nick of time. It just comes down to, can he get to a position to allow him to actually successfully play this post plant? First point of contact out of the kill, reads it, but the problem is you've got Huynh from behind, and GenG, oh my goodness. You got to give some credit, maybe a little bit of a raise to Kusta for that hold.
I mean, Kusta's had some incredible moments so far on this map. You have to look over towards the attacking side as well. How many, 1v1s, how many clutch situations where it came down to very small numbers that you actually had Kusta kind of win here. He's like solo over towards A for a while because you had a massive rotation coming through from GenG over towards B. They saw a lot of aggression there. They saw the paint shells. They saw the extra util. And Gimon's like, I'm coming over. Sean's already started moving. I'm right behind Sean. Poor Kusta's by himself all the way in lamps, similar to what we saw Subrosa. So kind of heroic shown from both teams here, just getting these kills. A little surprised that Wardell isn't able to swing through and kind of assist. I mean, the first kill coming on through, the Wardell's caught completely with his pants down there, and Kusta just collects the rest. 3 kills, plus a showstopper kill coming through as well that we expected from Sean. And that's going to be enough. 1 player left alive, 44 HP for Drone, and not expecting too much as we now head into the next round. TSM, not a lot to work through here. A very rough loss for them in that last one.
Just going back to the last time that these two teams had played, it was essentially a copy-paste as far as how the first half went, but GenG's defense wins on average 73% of the rounds that they get into. So their defense definitely stronger than their offense, and an opportunity for them to find 4 rounds strung together in a row here defensively. TSM just on pistol upgrades, trying to find a way to make this round punishing, and boy, have they. Wardell will find first blood at long range versus Huynh. Now an opportunity for TSM to try to work for numbers and potentially also work for this weapon.
Yeah, they do want to indeed. I mean, here comes the Trailblazer as well. They confirmed that somebody is definitely still there. At this point in time, I think GenG might even want to start thinking about rotating over. And I know that's maybe early days, but with TSM dropping a gun over here, they definitely want to play for B long. It's low HP, even coming through for Wardell. Flash comes through, pretty successful, slows down the push, but TSM has now collected that rifle, gives them a little bit more of a chance to play this.
Yeah, the exchange there was the guiding light for TSM, but the paranoia for GenG. And now here comes the full hit through B long. Mikhail first one up, already tagged down pretty low. Damage is still pretty substantial, but Clement is also here. He finds himself 2, but Subrosa with that picked up rifle will find 3, doing it 1 better. And now it just comes down to Kusta again. Gets the first. Knows that there's a second also still over towards B long, but for now he has cleared the site, and as you mentioned, the teleport will come through, and watching the rotation, well, that's going to be Hazed. He's already set up in a position to make sure that the A-Link stays safe.
This is the real test now. They know that Wardell's gone through showers. Obviously, he's got the spike as well. Minimal time. He'll get the plant, no issues. Seems like the camera was actually still on, so pretty huge. Kusta still has a decent amount to play with here, full HP. Now, this is going to be where we see if Kusta can continue winning the clutch situations. Very low HP on Wardell. One shot will do it. Hayes, though, can he find the timing? This is where they're getting a lot of chip damage as well. Off angle's being taken here. Kusta has no idea, and Hayes swings through. Gets that kill on the Sheriff, and you gotta say, Wardell, for me, really opened up this round. Subrosa closed it with some assist at the end towards Hayes, and all it takes is one rifle. You get Wardell winning a long-range 1v1 versus Mikhail, I believe. The Ghost coming on true, which is not at all a battle you'd think that Wardell would successfully win a lot of the time. And off the back of that, they push up B long. GenG don't rotate just yet. They're not entirely sure it's going to be B long, but they got to assume, look, you know, if TSM really want to win this round, they got to get that rifle. They get the rifle, and boy, does Subrosa make it work.
Look, if you're going off statistics alone, that's around that GenG feels like they should be up now 9-7. So remember that one. If this one goes TSM's way, that is a huge pin into possibly building towards success here. A massive thrifty round. That turns things around. Not just marginally, in a pretty major way.
It undoes the round previous, because you got to remember as well, is this
hello?
Boomball going to get destroyed? Not quite. That's a lot of damage being confirmed. But I was going to say, it kind of undoes the success of round 3. Remember, GenG did win round 3, which is TSM's gun round. This 4th round that we just saw previously with the thrifty undoes that kind of round that came through for GenG. So, in my opinion, we kind of just go even here. If you kind of consider this to be, okay, if TSM won the 3rd round, then GenG come back in the 4th round, it's still 8-8. So we're kind of back to square one, at least in my mind, of how the round should have gone. It's still pretty insane how both those rounds kind of panned out in terms of who we thought was going to win, who then actually won. And TSM now not only have guns, but they have the ultimates as well. Remember, we were waiting for timings for TSM. Subrosa already looking forward from the shadows, goes all the way towards Link and confirms it.
So now it's just down to, can GenG respond to this? No, Subrosa good for first point of contact. And so now TSM have made their way on Kusta. How heroic can you be here? Nanoswarm was sent out, not going to find anything. He's going to allow the spike to be planted, wait for a bit of help. Delayed peek, finds one elimination, not going to get the second as Subrosa doubles down. And now you look at GenG with Sean on the long wrapping flank. But TSM also have Cutler, who have cleared out showers. 3v4, showstopper still in play if required for TSM. Mikhail has made his way on. Quinn trying to clear angles with the operator. Cloudburst will try to keep denial of a line of sight out of showers, and Sean's pinch is successful. Finds the first. Time becoming a bit of a problem, or is it? Just down to Cutler. Finds one. Needs to get the second and does. 1v1 situation. Gets the shoulder peek and now plays the clock accordingly. Doesn't even need to. Cutler for 3. TSM up by 1.
And showers was the one place that GenG did not clear. They did not check it properly. Cutler swings for huge damage. It looked like it was going to be massive. It looked like it was going to be GenG getting the defuse. They had cleared out Lamp. Sean was getting a lot of kills here, 3 versus 1, but Cutler had time on his side. I mean, accurately called it. I was even thinking maybe time was going to be an issue about 10 seconds prior to that, because it was taking GenG quite a while to start getting some moves. They were clearing very slowly. And when that happens, I mean, you just don't really have time on your side. I think with maybe a few more seconds to play with, possibly Cutler still wins the 1v1. I think he was probably favored, but you'd then probably get a little bit more util of Cutler. He'd have to spend maybe the Seekers. That would have been huge in terms of at least GenG coming back. And now in this particular round, at least a 1-for-1 trade. Sean finds the long-range sheriff, and that's decent.
And that's the Blade Storm that's also off the table for GenG on this pistol upgrade round. Instant denial coming out of Wardell, and he has won a couple of gunfights through B long that I think in most circumstances you would expect it to go the opposite. An exchange of Trailblazers. Looks like Mikhail has avoided his successfully. Subrosa playing shoulders. Not going to be able to find a kill, as GenG have to try to do what they can to hold their lives in this 3v4 and hope that help can rotate over quick enough.
Still 1 minute roughly to play with here. Both teams, I was going to say both teams are really just TSM. The ultimates on GenG are gone now, the ones they really wanted anyway. Mikhail's going to have to come up huge on the Spectre, similar to what we saw from Kusta earlier, but Subrosa is too good for that. Now the last two coming through from GenG, even the due diligence to throw in the Seekers here, they won't really need it. The Seekers will reveal that somebody's in hookah. Kusta's going to try and run away. The alarm bot even spots him, and just a frenzy available means it's pretty bad news here.
Paint shells will also get a bit of chip damage as the spike does get planted. TSM not wanting to give away any other lives. Kusta will see a bit of information as jumping over the top was Cutler. Subrosa watching through the defensive spawn, able to find his 3rd kill in the round, and that will mean that TSM should be able to lock this up pretty clean with the last 4 members that are surviving.
I mean, they know where Kusta is roughly. He was hanging out around lamps. I'm sorry, around hookah rather. And there should be a freebie for Hayes in just a moment. Hayes has already got the ultimate, so this isn't going to really award him much except for the extra credits. Kusta is hoping people exit towards him. He'll get his wish for sure. He'll be surrounded. So Rose is coming through from the back. Cutler gets awarded the kill, which is great because Cutler actually used his ultimate, which means he gets one more extra ult charge moving forward. In terms of spreading the kills out, pretty decent from TSM, who are now 2 ahead. 3 apiece, though, so far in this half. Really, the 2 ahead that they got was on that opening half, which ended 7-5. And, I mean, still a pretty close affair. This round, though, this is okay. For GenG, they have the money again. Wynn's going over towards the Operator, light armor, but they have a bunch of ultimates coming through, especially looking over towards Showstopper for Sean, which has been finding some decent value.
It looks like we are going to get a bit of a pause. I mean, in my mind, this has got to be a must-win round here for GenG. You lose this one, especially if you spend ultimates. You're down 11-8, and you're probably going to go to another save again. Do you concur with that, Avril? Looking at this from GenG's perspective, saying they have to win this one?
I actually think if GenG, they would have to kind of need this to bounce back, at least in terms of economy. But if they start losing members here, I wouldn't be surprised GenG start thinking about saving guns, especially thinking about saving the Operator as well. This is a massive purchase. They're down quite a lot of money. To be fair, though, you wouldn't have a lot more rounds to play with after this. What they really need is to prevent TSM from reaching 12. So giving away TSM to 11 is still kind of okay at this point in time. It's not going to be comfortable. Saving the Operator would be pretty huge, but what would be worse would be playing an unwinnable round, trying to force these guns into a round where realistically they can't come back, giving TSM the 11 anyway, and then not having the equipment to stop TSM from getting the 12.
Kusta able to read that there were a couple of contestants through a shower, just immediately tactically retreats. Cutler still wanting to check out the angle, commits the Trailblazer. We'll see one player close. That is going to be Kusta, but he knows that there will be help with the spam shots, with the paint shells. Kusta in a world of hurt, lucky to be alive, just down to 6 HP. And at this point, you've got to rotate Mikhail over to see if you can get him back near full health.
The problem is, I don't even know if TSM realized they've done damage because they probably expected, okay, we saw Kusta, there's no way he stays here, he's going to move for sure. Because Wardell picks up the opening kill into Gimon, but what they don't know is they confirmed a lot of damage, and there it is, overkill even from Wardell. Drone's going to respond with even more. Straight into lamps. It doesn't matter. Wardell's got 3 so far, and this is gone. GenG have no chance anymore. And as is mentioned, it's very likely that Huyn is not going to do anything further here. He wants to keep this gun. They need something to work with for the next. And to be fair, TSM should chase this for sure. TSM should not allow Huyn to get away.
It's like TSM says, Avril, you don't know if we can confirm information on damage? How about a Wardell Operator? That'll confirm things pretty quickly. Even committed the Bladestorm to this round as well. And there could be point of contact as both Jets essentially do a merry-go-round around one another. But you could tell that Wardell definitely wants to get this Operator off the table. Looks like it will mostly be avoided. And at this point, it's like hide and seek. Huyn's just trying to stay safe.
Good timing from Huyn, actually.
Yeah.
Like, he's completely dodged everybody. He doesn't realize, well, he does definitely realize it because he doesn't see anybody, but TSM right now thinking, like, where could this guy be? Did he maybe go towards caves? The one area they didn't check is caves. There's still 5 seconds to play with here, roughly. There's going to be a kill from Huyn. No, he dashes into another player. That's really
Feels
rough.
bad. Major feels bad moment for sure. But a round that we were kind of framing up as a potential must-win. It's this first point of contact. And Wardell confirming the first kill. They know that Kusta's pushed. I'm not really sure the angle. He gets him just right over the corner of the quad box, and then from there on out, Drone just clears extra space. Like you mentioned, a bit overkill with the showstopper, but a massive round for TSM, and now puts GenG up against the rope. So to be fair, they do have a showstopper that could potentially be a win condition for them here in the next round.
Straight away, Wardell's going to take control over towards B. I mean, he knows he's got a massive gun advantage. It doesn't really matter here. Butler actually even has the Operator, so it's not even Wardell sniping this particular round. He just wants to get into a line. Using this Vandal, dashes in straight away. Trailblazer now to put in the extra pressure, and GenG need to do something special here. I don't know if anyone actually has a buy. Kusta had, like, the most money. He actually might have something to play with, but I couldn't quite catch it, so we'll have to see if maybe he can be the person to do something. He's walking down showers now, getting a lot of info there. Possible contact even onto Drone, but I don't know what's going to happen. He walks away, and no, he doesn't have a gun. He's got 2,400 still to play with, so they're very much just going to save up and possibly allow TSM to get the 12 and save up for potential to go 4 in a row to go to the OT. As now GenG rotate one more extra coming through from Huyn and hoping they can at least have a bit of a defense going with 3.
That does avoid the guiding light, misses the one tap. Second challenger was Gomon, third challenger Huyn. Only one of them going to find an elimination, and Huyn's down to just 65 HP. would have to catch some brilliant timing here if he wants to try to even the odds, at least as far as the numbers are concerned. Sabrosa locking things up through lamps. Finds the shoulder, finds the headshot. TSM's hopes down, or probably up to a 4v1 situation. It's GenG that's down to the solo player, and Mikhail, as he tries to come out of the dirt cover, will be dealt with. So TSM on 12, and it will be 4 rounds required in a row from GenG if they want to see overtime.
Yeah, well, this is the round that GenG's been waiting for now, because they did kind of half-buy eco that last round. I mean, they had the option to force. I think if Huyn actually lived 2 rounds ago, the operator possibly would have forced in. Maybe they would have just played the hero operator, which, you know, Huyn's got an operator now as well. Wardell's picked up his, again, on his side, with Cutler dropping it back over. Looking towards ultimates. The good news for GenG is they do have ults, but to win 4 in a row here, I don't see TSM having to eco or having to have a broken buy for the rest of this entire half, and then OT, obviously it doesn't matter. So TSM should be well and truly stocked up for the last 4 rounds. It's going to come down to GenG just stringing together as much as they can, or 4 is going to be as much as they can to try and get this OT.
Well, we need to see something a bit more resilient from a GenG gun round. In the defense so far, outside of the pistols and the anti-eco, they have been empty through everything else so far, including that TSM Thrifty that put us to 8-8. So now as TSM start to make their play through A mid, Kusta has been paranoid. Guiding Light will also blind him up. Drone for first blood. Hayes dropping the lockdown and the take of the A site. Should be successful off this win. Thinking about it, will take the peak. That's the spike carrier down. And an opportunity here for GenG to potentially start to fight this one back in a 4v4.
So Broza has a potential timing here. There's no way. Yeah, Huyn doesn't know. Huyn is not going to check that angle either. Scoped in to look over towards showers. Going to confirm that no one else is in showers now either. 3 versus 4. At least the showstopper is available, but not if the pick comes through. Sean's down. That's the only big ultimate GenG had. Gone 4 versus 1, and this is at TSM. Are going to take map number 1. There is no way Gimon does any more here. Subrosa shuts it down. 3 kills, and by far, in my opinion, the MVP of this opening map.
I mean, so many clutch moments across the board, but yeah, I 100% agree. Sabrosa came in massively. You got to even think back, it kind of lingers in my mind.